Hi folks, Jeff Myers from Save Oregon Schools, and I am excited to launch this new data dashboard. And I hope it's going to be arming people with information that is useful and I know in some cases is very hard to get. So in this first of three charts, what we're looking at is the total expenditures per pupil, or really multiple different ways that we can look at those numbers. But let's just start with what's on the screen. So I've pre-selected 6 states, but you can change the ones that are shown using this first drop down. So let's say maybe you don't want to see California, you do want to see Colorado, maybe you don't need Illinois. So I can just click on those and you see the chart automatically is updating here on the right. Now the second choice lets you pick the expenditure or revenue type. Without getting into the weeds at the moment, what you commonly see on the internet is this total expenditures per pupil. That's the figure that most people look at. But the National Center for Education Statistics does give us other options, and I pulled in all the data so that you could see, rather than expenditures, total revenues, or maybe just the instruction expenditures. And as you see, when I click on these, it'll automatically update the values. Now this last part, I've had some questions. People look at the numbers and think, okay, so Oregon went from 13,000 to 19,000, but the time value of money, is that really growing? Well, we have two options, and by default, it's going to start by looking at an inflation-adjusted amount. So this is, all these dollars are adjusted to FY22 or fiscal year 22, which is in line with the same way the National Center for Education Statistics views their data. So I've already done that, but if you want to see them in the dollars reported at that point in time, you can just click this box and it gets rid of the inflation adjustment. Now you may have seen as I hovered over some of these spots, there's this thing called a tooltip that pops up, and that gives you a little bit more information about that line and that point in time. So in here I can see in 2008, in the state of Minnesota here, that their adjusted amount was $16,562, which represents a 12.5% increase over the first year of data that I have here. So hopefully that's clear enough. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and we'll see two other charts here that are similar, and I'll break down the difference. And this is something that I've really found interesting as I've dug into the data, is to look at how the makeup of our public education system within a state or within a particular school district can change over time. So in here, again, by default, you should see the same thing when you pull it up. It's looking at Oregon, but you can pick a different state from this list. In this case, you're looking at one state at a time. And what we're seeing here is, and look at this red bar, we'll focus on that at the beginning of this data, so back in the 1998-99 school year, Oregon, out of all staff in all Oregon public schools, K through 12 of course, teachers represented 50.5% of all of those employees. Well, now we fast forward to the 22-23 school year, and we see that number has plummeted down to 40.2%. So that means we have seen nearly 1 in 10 employees that used to be a teacher, now they're not. Now down these other bars, you can start seeing the other roles that have started to climb up and take the place of teachers. Now, last thing I'll point out about this chart here is that you can pick and choose and say, you know what, there's a lot of lines in here, it's getting really busy. Maybe you just want to see teachers compared to school administrators and this thing called LEA, or local education administration. That is, say, your district office. Maybe you just want to see just those. We can unselect, right, and get rid of the other ones we don't want to see. And there you go. The percentages are still calculated based on the whole, but now you can see we've got teachers, school administrators in green, and then those LEA administrators in orange. All right, now we'll switch over to this one on the right. Now this is similar, as I said, but in this case we can drill down to an individual school district. So I've already selected this school district, the Salem-Keizer School District in Oregon, is third largest. And similar data, so we can see within this school district, how has their staffing changed over time. Now again, if you want to see a different one, say we want to look in Alabama, and we'll pick, just picking this at random, Alexander City. Here is their chart over time. Now you may find some interesting things in here, gaps in the data or weird anomalies and how something climbed up. In this case, it looks like for this 2012-2013 year, for some reason, they reported every role in the school district was a teacher. Now this is a problem with the underlying data, so there's nothing I can do to correct it. I am literally just pulling what is at the National Center for Education Statistics and bringing it into here and then making it accessible to you. So I will warn you that at the district level you're going to see some interesting anomalies, and just know that it's not a problem with the underlying data, or at least nothing wrong with the charting here. It's really something where the district rolled up bad data to the state, which then made it to the federal government. And again, just like in the other chart, we can go in here and pick and choose the roles that you want to see, so you can build the chart to work exactly for the data that you're looking for. That is all for now. If you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me. If you click on this About button at the top, it's going to give you some information more about, again, the underlying data source, the purpose why I created this, and my website, Facebook page, and where to find me on X. So please do reach out. Let me know how you're using it. Feel free to tag me on X or on Facebook if you're going to post something. I'd love to see how you're making use of this data. Thank you very much, and take care.